force yourself to take action. You're not tired, you're uninspired. You're not lost, you're distracted. And you're not stuck, you're simply not moving. Let me tell you something powerful. The difference between the life you dream about and the life you're living is action. This isn't a motivational pep talk. This is a wake-up call. Because if you don't force yourself to take action now, life will force you to live with regret later. This message isn't for the weak. It's for the person who knows deep down that their future demands more than what they're doing right now. Watch this speech till the end. Not because I said so, but because something in you knows that it's time. Time to move. Time to act. Time to become. This is the hard truth that most people ignore while they waste days, weeks, and years convincing themselves that one day they'll get to it. But destiny doesn't respond to good intentions. It doesn't wait for your fears to calm down or your confidence to grow. It only responds to action. And when you delay, you're not just postponing progress, you're risking the complete disappearance of the opportunity itself. Opportunities don't last forever. They have an expiration date, not because life is cruel, but because life moves. It keeps evolving, and the doors that are open today might not be open tomorrow. That dream you have, that vision in your heart, that calling that keeps tugging at your spirit, it's not going to sit around waiting for you to feel like doing something about it. Destiny is urgent. It's time sensitive. It's impatient with hesitation. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you lose ground. Every time you say, I'm not ready yet, you fall further behind. The people who step into greatness are not the ones who are fully prepared. They're the ones who said, I'll go anyway. Your destiny is not looking for perfection. It's looking for motion. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to show up. You need to force yourself to move. There's a painful truth that many people learn too late. Some doors only open once. That divine moment when everything is aligned, your passion, your opportunity, your energy, that moment doesn't last forever. Life doesn't stop because you're scared. It doesn't freeze while you try to gather courage. It keeps spinning. And if you don't get on the ride, it'll pass you by. You don't have the luxury of endless time, not when your purpose is calling, not when you were created with potential that must be released. Every delay is costly. Every hesitation chips away at your future. You can either respond now with bold, uncomfortable action, or you can look back one day and wish you had. Some people think they're waiting on God or fate or the universe to move. But the truth is, everything you need to start is already in you. What you're really waiting for is permission from yourself. But your destiny doesn't need your permission. It just needs your participation. Your dreams are not waiting for you to feel ready. They're waiting for you to get moving. And yes, it will be scary. Yes, it will feel uncertain. But so what? Every great achievement was born through fear. Every purpose-driven life began with a decision to act in spite of doubt. The people who accomplish greatness are not fearless. They are disciplined. They are willing to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's unclear, even when it hurts. If you could see how much is connected to your next step, you would stop stalling. Your decision to act might unlock someone else's breakthrough. Your courage could become the spark for your entire family's transformation. Your obedience to move might lead to generational impact. That's how serious this is. So don't let the clock run out on your calling. Don't wait until life forces you into desperation. Move now, act now, push through now, because your destiny is waiting, but it will not wait forever. That's not just a catchy phrase, it's a law of life. Waiting is often disguised as patience or wisdom, but more often, it's just fear in disguise. The truth is, waiting for the perfect moment is one of the most dangerous lies you can believe. Because there is no perfect moment. There is only movement, action. And the people who succeed are the ones who step forward even when things are uncertain, uncomfortable, or unclear. Success doesn't reward hesitation. It doesn't come to the person sitting on the sidelines, thinking, analyzing, planning endlessly but never doing. It finds the one who dares to take the first step, the one who understands that clarity comes through movement, not before it. You don't need to know every detail. You don't need to have the entire path mapped out. You just need to move. The person who starts walking will always go further than the one who waits for a sign. Because motion itself creates momentum. When you take a single step toward your goal, doors begin to open, new ideas come, the right people appear, energy builds, confidence grows. But none of that happens while you're sitting still. Life honors motion. It rewards the ones who take initiative. The ones who knock, seek, ask, those are the ones who receive. Waiting can feel safe. It feels logical. You tell yourself you're just preparing, just being careful. But deep down, you know it's resistance. You know it's avoidance. And the longer you stay still, the harder it becomes to move. Fear grows stronger in stillness. Doubt multiplies in delay. And dreams begin to rot when they are left untouched for too long. You don't have to be the most talented person in the room to succeed. You just need to be the one who's willing to take action. Over and over, day after day. While others are debating, you're building. While others are afraid to fail, you're learning through your failures. That's the difference. Success doesn't belong to the passive, it belongs to the persistent. The ones who move even with trembling hands, the ones who act, even with limited resources. The ones who do something, even when nothing feels certain. Think about the greatest breakthroughs in history. They weren't made by people who waited for comfort. They were made by people who stepped into the unknown. People who were willing to start with nothing but a vision and a willingness to act on it. That's how every success story begins. With movement. With someone who refused to sit still. You might feel overwhelmed by how far you still have to go. But movement shrinks the mountain. What once looked impossible begins to feel doable once you start climbing. Each step forward changes your perspective. Each action builds your strength. But you'll never experience that transformation until you begin. Success is built one move at a time, one decision, one effort, one bold, imperfect action. And don't be fooled into thinking that slow progress is the same as no progress. Even small movement is powerful. Even tiny steps lead to momentum. What matters is that you're no longer sitting, no longer waiting. You're moving. So stop waiting for the right time. The right time is always now. Stop waiting for more courage. You'll find it on the way. Stop waiting for signs. Be the sign. Success belongs to those who dare to take action, especially when it's hard, inconvenient, or scary. Because the ones who move, those are the ones who make it. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. It's the dividing line between dreams and reality. Without discipline, you will always live beneath your potential, no matter how inspired or talented you are. You can have all the motivation in the world, but without consistent, focused discipline, your vision will remain just a wish, never transforming into a result. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to act according to your values and goals instead of your moods. Anyone can be motivated when they feel good. Anyone can put in work when life is exciting, when everything is going well, when there are no obstacles. But life doesn't stay in that state. Real life is messy, difficult, uncertain. And it's in those moments that discipline becomes your lifeline. It's what separates those who push through from those who give up. You won't always feel like taking action. You won't always wake up excited. But success doesn't ask how you feel. It only responds to what you do. Discipline forces you to rise, even when you're tired. It pushes you to keep going, even when no one claps for you. It trains your mind to lead your emotions, not follow them. And in a world where everyone is chasing comfort, discipline becomes your superpower. You will never reach your potential if you only move when it's easy. Growth lives in discomfort. Progress demands sacrifice. There are no shortcuts. Every strong mind was built through repeated acts of self-control. Every powerful life was shaped by the quiet decision to keep showing up even when it hurt. You cannot master your craft, your purpose, or your future until you first master yourself. Discipline is not about being harsh. It's about being aligned. It's about choosing what matters most over what feels good right now. It's about saying no to distractions so you can say yes to your destiny. Every act of discipline is a statement. I'm serious about my life. Every time you show up when it's hard, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. And yes, it will be hard. Discipline will stretch you. It will demand more than what feels natural. But that's exactly the point. Growth is not supposed to be comfortable. The reason most people never change is because they never stay in the fire long enough to be transformed. They jump out at the first sign of difficulty. But discipline keeps you there. It holds you steady when your old habits scream for comfort. It reminds you of the future you're building. Every day you have a choice. Feed your feelings or feed your future. You can either obey your emotions or obey your vision, but you cannot do both. Discipline will require you to delay gratification, to ignore the noise, to say no when everyone else is saying yes. But with every sacrifice, something powerful is happening. You're building inner strength. You're building character. You're becoming someone who can be trusted with success. There will be times when no one sees your effort. Times when you'll feel alone in your discipline. But understand this. Private discipline always leads to public reward. What you do in the unseen moments is what determines how far you'll go. You don't need to announce your grind. Just stay consistent. Let your results speak. Discipline doesn't guarantee instant success, but it guarantees progress. And over time, that progress compounds into power. You start to feel proud of yourself. You begin to trust yourself. And that self-trust becomes your foundation. You're no longer waiting for external validation. You know who you are because you've earned it in the trenches of discipline. So if you want to rise, if you want to grow, if you want to transform your life, you must build the muscle of discipline. It won't be easy. It won't be quick. But it will be worth it. Because discipline isn't just something you do. It's who you become. And when you become disciplined, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. It's the cozy blanket that slowly smothers your ambition while whispering lies that everything is fine. But the truth is, nothing great ever grows in the comfort zone. Nothing legendary has ever been built by someone who chose ease over excellence. If you want to rise, if you want to break limits and fulfill your purpose, you must develop the courage to move beyond comfort and stay there. Comfort is deceptive. It feels good in the moment, but it's costly in the long run. It tricks you into thinking you're safe when you're actually stuck. You start settling for good enough. You avoid challenges that could grow you. You stop reaching, stop stretching, stop risking. You tell yourself you're being smart, being cautious, but what you're really doing is hiding. Because the human mind craves familiarity. It wants to keep you in predictable patterns. But predictable patterns produce predictable results. If you want transformation, you need disruption. That disruption comes the moment you decide to abandon comfort and step into discomfort on purpose. That means doing the hard thing, the awkward thing, the scary thing, not once, but again and again. Because your future is on the other side of discomfort. Growth lives where comfort ends. Every breakthrough you'll ever experience starts as a moment of fear you choose to walk through instead of run from. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your guide. It's the signal that you're pushing into new territory, that you're growing past your current capacity. And yes, it's painful. Yes, it's uncertain, but it's also powerful. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who learn to live in it. They become comfortable being uncomfortable. They train themselves to take action, to face resistance, to do what others refuse to do. And make no mistake, there will be resistance. Every time you stretch beyond your limits, resistance shows up. In your mind, in your habits, in your relationships. You will be tempted to retreat, to go back to what's familiar. But you must fight that pull, because going back is not an option. You've already tasted the hunger for more. You know there's something greater in you. So you have to keep walking forward no matter how uncomfortable it gets. This isn't about chasing pain. It's about embracing growth. And growth always comes with discomfort. Ask anyone who has done anything worthwhile. An athlete, an entrepreneur, a parent, a leader. None of them got to where they are by avoiding struggle. They became who they are by choosing challenge, by refusing to let comfort seduce them into mediocrity. You may not realize it yet, but discomfort is shaping you. It's stretching your mindset, sharpening your focus, strengthening your resolve. It's making you more resilient, more courageous, more unstoppable. The more you lean into it, the more powerful you become. That fear you feel, it's not a warning, it's an invitation to rise, to evolve, to unlock your full potential. Stop asking for it to be easier. Ask to be stronger. Stop praying for comfort. Start praying for courage. Courage to keep going when it's hard. Courage to act when you're scared. Courage to stay when quitting feels easier. That's where the transformation happens. That's where character is built. That's where your future is forged. Don't let comfort rob you of your calling. Don't let convenience steal your greatness. You were not created to play small, to hide in safety, to coast through life. You were created to rise, to lead, to impact. But that kind of life doesn't come cheap. It demands everything from you. Your effort, your discipline, your endurance, and most of all, your willingness to stay uncomfortable. So today, choose the path of resistance. Say yes to the discomfort. Not because it's fun, but because it's necessary. Necessary for growth, necessary for greatness, necessary for the kind of life that's worth living. You will never become who you're meant to be by staying where it's easy. The future you're dreaming of, it's waiting, but it's not in your comfort zone. It's in the fire, the stretch, the uncertainty. And the only way to reach it is to move, to grow, to keep walking forward, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. That's the price, but it's also the path. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They are the justifications we create to remain the same. They sound reasonable. They feel safe, but they are the subtle chains that keep us from moving forward. Every excuse you've ever made has one purpose: to protect your comfort, not your potential. And as long as you keep making excuses, you will keep delaying your growth, your greatness, and your destiny. The truth is, everyone has a reason not to act. Everyone has a story, a challenge, a past, or a situation that could be used as a crutch. But the people who rise above it all are the ones who decide that their future matters more than their excuse. They understand that excuses don't change their situation, only action does. No matter how valid your reason is, it will never produce results. You cannot build a powerful life on the foundation of excuses. Excuses are seductive. They give you a sense of relief in the short term. I'm too tired today. I don't have the resources. I'll start tomorrow. They make you feel better about not moving, not starting, not stretching. But over time, those excuses pile up. They become your default response to every opportunity, and before you know it, you've created a habit of hesitation, a lifestyle of avoidance, a mindset of limitation. You must understand that excuses are rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. When your mind is afraid, it finds reasons to delay. But you are not created to live in fear. You are designed to overcome it. That means confronting your excuses, not coddling them. It means exposing them for what they are, lies that keep you small. It means refusing to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions for your life. Every time you choose action over excuse, you take back your power. You tell your future, I'm coming for you no matter what it costs. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need every detail figured out. You just need to start where you are with what you have and trust that the process will develop you as you go. The path to greatness is paved by people who stopped waiting for ideal circumstances and started moving with imperfect courage. One of the most dangerous things about excuses is that they sound so rational. You can convince yourself for years that your delay is wisdom, that your inaction is patience, that your fear is caution. But deep down, you know when you're playing small. You know when you're hiding behind a reason. That quiet voice in your soul doesn't lie. It keeps reminding you that you're meant for more. But until you silence your excuses, you'll never hear that voice clearly. There's a reason the people who succeed often come from struggle. They had every excuse to quit, but they didn't. They had every reason to stay down, but they rose. Why? Because they understood something most don't. You can either make progress or make excuses, but you can't do both. Life rewards those who take responsibility, not those who shift blame. Your power begins the moment you stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? Affirmation. You have to make a decision that enough is enough, that you're done letting your past define your future, that you won't let fear make your choices anymore, that from this day forward, you are committed to doing what needs to be done, regardless of how uncomfortable it feels. This is what separates the successful from the stagnant. Discipline over distraction, responsibility over rationalization, progress over protection. You won't always feel ready. You won't always feel brave, but action isn't about feeling, it's about commitment. You commit to showing up, to doing the work, to moving forward, even when the voice of excuse whispers in your ear. Because here's the truth. The more you act, the quieter that voice becomes. The more you move forward, the less power your excuses have over you. Your life is not going to change because you want it to. It's going to change because you decide to stop making excuses and start taking control. You can't keep blaming your parents, your boss, your past, your environment, or your lack of time. Take ownership. You are not a victim, you're a creator. You get to shape your life by the decisions you make every day. And the first decision you must make is to eliminate every excuse that stands between you and your purpose. No more hiding, No more waiting, no more delays disguised as logic. Today is the day you draw a line in the sand and say, I'm done. Done with the lies, done with the fear, done with the patterns that have held me back for years. It's time to step up, time to show up, time to take full responsibility for your future. Because when you stop making excuses, you start making progress. When you stop running from your potential, you start living in your power. And that power, your discipline, your action, your commitment, is what will carry you to places you never imagined possible. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Because you finally chose to stop explaining your limitations and started executing your possibilities. That's the moment everything changes. And it begins with the death of your last excuse. Procrastination is not just a delay, it's a silent thief that robs you of time, potential, and opportunity. It disguises itself as, I'll do it later, but later turns into days, weeks, months, and sometimes even years. And before you know it, life has passed you by, not because you weren't capable, but because you kept putting things off. The most dangerous thing about procrastination is that it feels harmless in the moment. You convince yourself that a little delay won't make much difference. But success is built on consistent action, not delayed intention. Every time you delay, you lose momentum, and momentum is everything. One of the greatest lies you'll ever hear in your own head is, I'll start tomorrow. It's a seductive promise that buys comfort in the present, but it sells out your future. Tomorrow becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a lifestyle of avoidance, a lifestyle of regret. The uncomfortable truth is this: the more you delay what you know you need to do, the more you train your mind to run from responsibility. You begin to tolerate mediocrity. You accept being stuck. You watch others rise, not because they're more gifted, but because they simply started. The hardest part of taking action is often just beginning. The task itself isn't as scary as your mind makes it out to be. But procrastination feeds on fear. Fear of failure, fear of imperfection, fear of success. It thrives in the space between your desire and your decision. The longer you hesitate, the louder the fear becomes. The longer you wait, the more reasons your mind creates to keep waiting. That's why discipline must override emotion. If you only act when you feel like it, you'll never build anything lasting. You must decide that your future is too important to leave up to how you feel in the moment. Action kills fear. Action silences doubt. Action breaks the grip of procrastination. When you force yourself to act, even in small ways, you begin to build a new pattern. A pattern of progress. A pattern of follow through. You don't have to take a giant leap today. You just have to take a step. One step forward creates a ripple effect. It energizes your mind. It boosts your confidence. It tells your brain, I'm not stuck. I'm moving. And movement creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results build belief, and belief fuels even greater action. So why do so many people procrastinate even when they know it's holding them back? Because procrastination is comfortable. It allows you to stay in the planning stage where there's no risk, no failure, just the illusion of preparation. But planning without action is just dreaming, and dreams without deadlines remain fantasies. If you want to see change, you must move beyond the preparation phase and into execution. You must trade overthinking for action. You must stop analyzing every outcome and start creating outcomes. The difference between the person who lives their dreams and the person who just talks about them isn't talent. It's execution. It's consistency. It's a relentless refusal to let time slip away without purpose. Time is the one resource you can never get back. Once a moment is gone, it's gone. You don't get to hit rewind. So the question isn't, do you have time? The question is, Are you using are you treating each day like it's part of your legacy, or are you letting procrastination write the story of your life? There is no perfect moment coming, no perfect day when the stars align and everything feels easy. That moment is a myth. What's real is this moment. Flawed, messy, and full of potential. You have everything you need right now to begin. You don't need more inspiration, more motivation, or more information. What you need is to move. Start before you're ready. Start while you're uncertain. Start even if you feel fear. That's how you build the muscles of discipline and courage. And let's be honest, there will never be a time when life isn't busy. There will always be distractions, always be reasons to wait. But those who win in life aren't the ones who have the most time. They're the ones who make the most of their time. They treat every day as a deposit into their future. They understand that time, once wasted, is gone forever. So they act with urgency. They act with clarity. They act with commitment. You may not control everything, but you do control your choices. And procrastination is a choice. A choice to pause your potential. A choice to put your future on hold. A choice to let fear have the final say. But today, you can make a new choice. A choice to break the pattern. To stop waiting. To stop postponing the version of you that you're capable of becoming. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need a better mood. You need a stronger decision. You don't need perfect conditions. You need persistent action. Procrastination doesn't just delay your dreams, it weakens your belief. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you chip away at your confidence. But every time you take action, no matter how small, you rebuild that trust. You remind yourself, I follow through. I keep moving. I don't wait. I work. That's the mindset that builds success. That's the attitude that shapes destiny. So stop telling yourself the lie of later. Later is not guaranteed. Later is not loyal. Later steals opportunities from those who are too afraid to start now. Be bold enough to begin today. Be brave enough to move, even if it's imperfect. Because progress, not perfection, is what transforms your life. The future doesn't belong to the procrastinator. It belongs to the person who acts, the one who takes the first step and then the next. One day at a time, one decision at a time. That's how you change your life. Not by waiting, but by doing now.